All right, the old Canadian renovations,
Hello.
2019.
I built the whole deck myself.
Yeah, as dictated by Andrew. Small one, but up there, we finally got a rain gutter on. Well, a nice downspout comes out, shoots the water away from the camp, instead of just dripping off the roof and rotting out the footboard down there, which is still pretty rotted out. But good news is the subframe, some of the boys got it in there the other day, back to pressure treated. We'll get a nice footing, get it leveled up, get a new door on there next year. That one served its purpose and patch up some of the rot, but she's caught up for now. Thanks to Nicholas, we got a nice power wash bridge, fresh board for the rotted one that was there. Took that out back Memorial Day. Bought a new shed. It's locked up. I'm not gonna open it, but it's a I think it's 8 by 10. Sits out just kind of between Camp Cortland and the lake, allowing you to get a lot of your boat stuff in there. Keep some things in there. I got cabinets in there for next year's project, which is putting up new cabinets inside the retreat. Got all our rollers from the miscellaneous projects. Still getting through the pine, but man, there's the old Canadian. He made it back in the video. One of the biggest upgrades recently is our running water last year, but we took it to the next level this year and installed a 48-gallon hot water heater. She's currently set at 140, so if you're taking a shower, don't turn it all the way up, but it does balance out the creek water pretty nicely. So there's last year's project, this year's project, thanks to Mr. Kucher. That's up and running. Comes through over here, runs up. You can't quite see it, but maybe you can. Up in there, there it is. Actually, there's the shower head on the outside. Let me come back around. We built a nice platform. Got some Virgil Mountain fieldstone there. Nice platform in here. Got a little gap down below, about 5.5 inches. Easy latch, handle to pull on. Inside, you'll see there's our shower head. There's the actual stuff. Multi-function shower head. So you can switch it up. You want to have some comfort. But she's going. Shaner did a nice job on this, pulling it all together. Got some hooks to hang your towels on. One in use. Looks like Nick's boxer still. Some nice corner cabinet or corner shelving here. Keep the soap, shampoo on. She's ready for the next time. Each time you're up to camp, you're gonna have to turn the breaker on when you get here. We'll get rid of that Michelob Ultra. Don't need that in here. Nice bench all the way across. Little capping next year. Put a couple of small 4x4 caps on each corner, and buy those LED solar powered lights. It'll give you some light for the first 2, 3, 4 hours of the night if somebody wants to come in and take a shower after coming off the lake. Fancy little mowing handle on it. Like I said, door shuts real easy. And if you want a little privacy, you can close it while you're in here. But it's one hell of a place to take a shower. And let me tell you, after this week, it was much needed. And again, the nice pavers to come out on, keep your feet dry. And that'll be the new shower. Now to the coup de grace of projects. Earlier in the year, I'd staged up right there. You can kind of see the imprint in the ground. About $3,200 worth of pressure treated next to the shed, because we had a dock that was seriously in need of help. It got some serious help this week thanks to a lot of guys putting a lot of time. Big thanks to everybody who came up and helped out and made this 100-foot fully cribbed, fully chuckered full of rocks. Some of the cribs, we had to rebuild 2 of the cribs. I think, if I recall, there's 6 sections of cribs, 6 or 7 cribs. We only had to rebuild 2 of them. 2 or 3 others we had to do some pretty serious work on. But it is now, instead of being on an angle like it used to be over here to enter, it's now all straight. We dug all this bank out, and that was a day worth right there. However, we dug it back into the roots, and these 6x6 stringers, they're right here and right here, are bolted in down at the far end to another 6x6. So when the ice tries to push this dock in, it's going to push it against the root systems of these cedars. And for a little just a little class, maybe a little step up and a little nostalgia, we got the old cedar log that we found sitting around here, timber locked in to the top to help a little bit more with the foundation of the dock, but also to help with keeping the dirt and the mud from flowing down on. So anyway, come on out. Takes a while because it's one long dock. Bought a few new cleats. As you can see, the boats are tied up to those right now. All matching. This end crib we had a little trouble with, but thanks to Scott, we were able to come up with the idea of a new, just kind of building a whole new beam across the bottom, which there's where the all thread is still through the crib and pulled tight. We ran new all thread through the crib in our 6x6 to catch this corner over here. And there's the old part of the L in the dock. She's in pretty bad shape. Don't quite know what to do with her, but gonna leave it there for the winter to help as an insurance policy from the ice hitting the brand new dock and doing any more damage than it needs to do. And the addition that I added kind of to the strength, well, outside of adding a little over another ton of rocks to all the cribs, we have sistered in some supports on the sides, which are going to be kind of hard to see, but you can see that 2x6 running, and it's got a carriage bolt, 10-inch carriage bolts all the way through each 6x6, and where the joints came together on the cribs, which would have been right about in between those 2 carriages that you see right there. There's probably a joint right about here. That's where the dock fell apart the most over the last 30 years. Can't complain when you get 30 years out of a dock, but that's where it broke down the most, is on those joints. So my thought was, let's sister in some 2x6s on each side and carriage bolt with 4 bolts all the way through. Try to strengthen up those joints. And that 6x6 is on obviously both sides of that 2x6, sorry, is on both sides of the 6x6 stringers that run down. So you have one on the outside, one on the inside, and then a carriage bolt through it. That should really firm up this dock. The extra weight, we ran the boards a lot closer together this time than the time my dad and I built this a long time ago, to help keep the weeds and cattails from growing up. By the way, if in case you didn't notice, there's the old entrance back by the charging station. In case you didn't notice, we cleared out a lot of weeds also. That'll be another project for next year. to polish off and really kick them back another level and really get this dock open back up so that view you see down the end of the dock we can regain and have down through the lake. Sure be nice to have that back. Anyway, those are the renovations 2019. Some big additions, some really big projects, and a huge thanks to everybody who helped. And that'll be Lathrop out.